And we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. Here in council chambers tonight are Melody from the Acantha, Deputy Clerk Fraunfelter, Clerk Fraunfelter, Finance Officer Rogers, Councilman Merja, Councilman Doyakos, Councilman Howard, and Councilman Kokoli. First thing on the agenda tonight, we'll open our public hearing on the water rate increases. Council people, anybody have any comments from out there in the public? I had several people reach out to me, chatted with Uptown concerning them. Mel, have you heard anything? The comments that we received here, that I received here, were all very, very positive. They understand the need for it, the reasoning behind it. And the underlying tone they left me with was, we need to address this on a more regular basis. So we're not looking at such a large increase at one time. So as we think about these things, and who's ever in this chair, well,
it's you.
well, yeah, who's ever in this chair needs to have a reminder that these things need to be addressed at least every 3 years at a minimum, so that we can keep from having these large increases like this come down the road. We would be raising rates regardless, because with the price of operations, parts, difficulty for getting parts, things like that. But this, with the addition of the new lines, is going to make things significantly better.
Well, that was the only question I had, is why hadn't we done this before? And part of it was, and Jody, I think I said this last time, but we'd raised sewer rates and we talked about water rates and we just never did it, right?
No, it's garbage that we didn't,
Yeah.
until the last couple of years, so I did know that this was coming, but I didn't know what we were gonna be doing. I knew that this was coming, we
had talked about it
done
last
very
year.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
with what we've had some pretty major leaks in the last few years that Mike said to fix. We've looked for a leak up on by the golf course for 2 years. Have yet to find anything, but you know, those cost increases have made a difference. But until then, you know, we keep things pretty tight, so we were doing okay. But you know, water meters were breaking, and so it was coming anyway,
Right.
not this much. So some of that is, you know,
We are currently in the field right now installing new meters.
Right.
Even in this kind of weather, we've been out and about getting some meters installed.
But we're not moving them. We're replacing the old one
Right,
with the
right.
new one in the exact same
Correct.
spot.
well, and I know that there's been some people that have talked about needing a different size of meter. What we ordered was what they had before. The order that we had went based on what we have in our system.
Yeah.
So, you know, if somebody wants a different size, that's gonna have to wait until we get all the other ones installed.
Correct.
So,
And there has been a few people that have asked about that.
And we're
And
tracking that.
I
I'm
defer
sure.
to the plumber on that. The difference between a 3/4 inch and a 1 inch meter is
Huge.
thank you.
I would say there's maybe a business or two that you might want to prioritize on getting a bigger meter.
These have all been residential.
Yeah, I know there's a couple businesses.
Okay,
Yeah.
but on a residential
Need a
house,
large
what would the difference be? And why would you require it? From a plumbing standpoint, not a city councilman standpoint.
So 3 or more bathrooms, you should be on a 1 inch. There's your rule of thumb.
So-
2 bathrooms, you're good on 3/4. You want to do a lawn irrigation system, you need 1 inch.
One question that was asked by a gentleman was, he was sure that if we replace the water meters and do this water project, this was the only thing that I did hear that was a little negative, was it was gonna reduce his water pressure.
No,
Okay, and I didn't think so, but you know. And
Only
he wanted a
insofar as
bigger
the-
meter. He wanted to go to the inch, but like I say, you know, we had to tell him that, no, we can't do that, but,
and pressure has nothing to do with volume either.
right,
Volume is totally based on pipe sizing.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The only
Nice.
way,
Have a
When you have a
the
clean
only way you
fresh-
can increase pressure is increase friction. If you have more resistance, then you. pressure goes up.
Well, and
So
it's, he lives somewhat on the hill, so he's probably not gonna have the pressure, but, you know.
But-
unfortunately.
Whatever we're doing is not gonna affect what he has now.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Should make it better.
So for the record, Mel, and I'll get this information to you, you know, looking at communities of our size around Montana, Big Timber has a base rate of $36.26.
36, you can
Yep.
have, I have. it written down.
Yep. The town of Keven is a $54 flat rate.
What?
The town of Ritchie is $46.36 for a base rate, and then $5.37 per 1,000 gallons,
5 what?
$5.37.
$5.37.
Yep.
Wow.
Geraldine is base rate of $36.04 with $1.13 per 1,000. The town of Westby is a $48 base rate with $2.60 per 1,000. Big Sandy is a $46 base rate with a $3 per 1,000. And Cascade is a $40 base rate with $2.60 per 1,000.
And ours is going.
So of all of those, only one of them would be less expensive than where we're at right now.
So ours is going.
I have it right here. For a 3/4 and 1 inch meter, the base rate will end up being $31.88.
And it'll be 372.
And 372 per 1,000
After the second.
after the second phase kicks in, yeah. So
But so our base rate is still lower than any of them.
pretty much other than Big Ten,
There was
Yeah.
one on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that just happened to be, someone else asked what rates were on our clerk listserv, and those were the people that responded, so that was where I got that
Okay.
information, so.
so. Thank the clerks out there to track that down, and you, Jody, as well for doing that. Do we have any other additional comments or concerns?
Do you mind speaking a little bit briefly, maybe Jody, you're a better person, on why we have to do it this way with the public comment period and everything versus the water districts?
And that comes back to what the state legislatures, the state legislature allows a water district that's formed under Title VII to do a cost of living increase or an annual increase in their rates without having to go to their ratepayers. At the city level, that's not allowed through the legislature. So anytime we want to do a rate increase for anything, we have to go through the public hearing process. And that process costs us about $2,000 by the time it's said and done to hold the hearing and to get it done. But it is, the legislature requires that of us so that the public has an opportunity to weigh in, have their voice pro and con. And that's how we end up and where we're at with having to have these. So whether it's garbage rates, sewer rates, water rates, any type,
Any enterprise.
yeah, any enterprise fund that is going to go up has to go through the public hearing process.
Thank you.
So it would be, we're gonna go through this through 2 phases, but going forward, who's ever in this chair should have a mental note that every 3rd year, we should be looking at these things and having some type of conversation about where we're sitting at, what the costs are this period of time compared to where they were in the past. Are we gonna have to look at some additional rate increase to meet continued maintenance and things like that? That was what everybody said to me. Once we get to where we're at, we get these new lines in, we have to do a better job of maintaining our rates so that we don't see these type of steep increases.
Chris, do you have to hold a public hearing if you're increasing your rates less than 12%? It changed because it used to be you could increase, up to 12% without a public hearing.
I think that may be the case for a district, water district or any kind of a district, but
But not for
right, as of
municipality.
right now, anything, it's a public hearing, it's the letters, it's, it's right process.
Well, I don't remember, well, you've been at this longer than me, but I don't remember any time when we didn't have to.
No, since I've been here anyway, it would be really nice. I think that they can do like, half the cost of living or something like that, increase.
The legislature must have changed it, because I can remember the Harry from the
Harry Whalen.
Montana
Mhm.
water,
Rural water.
Montana rural water, talking about You could go 12%, but after that, you'd have to go to public hearings.
That's a lot, 12% is a lot,
Oh, yeah.
but that would be nice to be able to at least do a little something, even if it was the same increase that we get on the taxes, so that, you know, you didn't have to do what.
Where we're going.
$3,000 every 3 years.
Yeah,
That being said, for you folks out there, I would have a little bit of water dripping these nights when it's this cold, just to
Make sure you
keep
have
things
water.
going. We've only had one person that I know of call in with frozen pipes or no water into their house or no water flowing in their house, but
When was that?
this morning. You know who it is.
Well, thaw it out tomorrow and tell you where it's froze.
Okay, thank you. If there's no further comments, I will close this public hearing. Okay, next
we don't
item.
have to leave it open until.
No.
Nope.
No.
Our next item would be opening the hearing on our solid waste rate increase, and this is for our garbage rates. Again, the need for this is simple. Our truck is older, it's out of warranty, it continues to throw DEF codes, meaning the diesel exhaust fluid that's in it is having issues. North Montana Joint Refuge District has raised their rates.
Mhm.
And we're ordering garbage cans at a rate that hasn't been seen like this ever before, because the garbage cans we're getting just don't seem to hold up. The people that I chatted with about this, again, seem to have no heartburn with it. The one gentleman I talked to wanted to know why the city didn't take the DEF codes or, delete the DEF system in the vehicle, and we're a governmental entity, and we can't do that.
You can.
Well, someone, with a diesel pickup that's not a governmental entity can do that. We're unable to do that. The only way something like that could ever happen would be if that vehicle, the garbage truck, was declared an emergency vehicle. Then by code through Department of Environmental Quality, it could be deleted. But God forbid, I still don't think the garbage guys work for me. You made that emergency vehicle, they'd want lights and sirens. You could just see the garbage truck going through the alley, just like that, so.
At 15 instead of 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
exactly. In most larger cities, those vehicles get out on the highway, like Great Falls, garbage trucks run all the way out north of town to that thing, and they get up to 55, 60 miles an hour for a prolonged period of time. We would have to take our garbage truck out daily and drive it to Fairfield and back to make sure the DEF system is active and pumping through it.
Yeah.
You drive diesels.
Just get an electric garbage truck.
Somebody suggested an electric garbage
Well,
truck.
so we could, but there might actually be money out there for that if we were changing from a diesel to an electric.
There could be, but I would have to go do some research on that. And my question would be the efficacy of an electric truck on a tomorrow morning out in the alleyways,
Yeah,
especially with
That's
a
the
heater
big question.
going.
yeah. And I
They're
don't
still too new. They still,
know.
from a fireman standpoint,
Well, and
hell
Thank you.
And the conversation on the buses in weather like this is that they'd be lucky to get to Great Falls and back on a charge
Yeah.
with the heater running. So, I mean, we joke about it, but it shouldn't be off the table
Mhm.
depending on when we replace the truck.
Yeah. So currently in January 23, the rates would go up $2 from 11 a month on a 95-gallon container from 11 to 13. And then the following January, they go from 13 to 15. How many 65s are still left out there, Joey? And we're not ordering.
You're not ordering anymore, we're not replacing.
Okay, so if a 65 goes out, they're moving up automatically to a 95.
Yep.
So they're gonna go from 825. Excuse me, to 975 this January and 1125. In 2024, the commercials will go from 11 to 13 to 15 as well. Based on the ERU, and an ERU equals 26 cubic yards of waste per year, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So those who have a 2-yard dumpster that are picked up once a week equals 4 ERUs. All right. Well,
Yeah.
questions?
What year are you equals to?
Questions, ma'am? No? All right,
Jody, do we at any point need to look at the refuse not placed in containers, the fee that we charge for that? That's another council purview.
our stickers,
No? Okay,
So they're-
I would say, I think I'm probably one of the biggest buyers.
Yeah,
In the last 5 years.
We just don't sell.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think they're still better than having people throwing them out. Throw them down.
you could probably list on 10 fingers the people that come in and buy them.
Yeah.
Everyone's-
Hearing no
I think
additional
it does.
comments, I will close the hearing on our public hearing on solid waste rate increases. Which brings us to the approval of the minutes from the city council meeting of 15 November.
So moved.
Councilman Merja with the motion to approve, Councilman D second. Any changes or corrections?
Just spell your last name for me, Chris.
HNDOIEN.
Okay,
Over in,
Europe.
yep,
over. Oh, okay.
there's a
So
lot of vowels strung together there, I know.
I only
Good.
asked because I've been looking at a document with your wife's name on it in my office where it's spelled wrong. And so I looked at the minutes earlier today and I'm like, okay, which one is right?
No, it is, it's,
Okay, over in Europe.
yep,
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now I will remember.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Who's leaving the state? Councilman Howard, winner.
23rd to the 2nd.
Heading to Idaho. Cool.
Not unless I win the Montana Millionaire.
You're going to Missoula?
Sarah,
No,
Stuart,
Just going to Missoula.
isn't that out of state?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Travel safe, Councilman. The roads are not good out there.
No.
New business, we will, I would ask for, we're gonna vote on resolution 896 to vote for the garbage collection.
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilman D,
Second.
a second from Councilman Merja. Any additional questions or comments on the garbage rates before we vote?
So we're voting, are we just voting on the first increase or we're voting on the
No.
incremental increase?
They're incrementals.
Okay.
It's a 2-year, okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll get that resolution signed in the morning. Vote on resolution 897 to increase the water rates for the municipal water system.
So moved.
Motion from Councilman D,
second,
second from Councilman Capola. Any additional questions or concerns? I will tell you that we've heard from the contractor for the new project. He reached out to Mike about looking for some areas to start bringing in equipment and product for the winter. So,
Okay.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I will get that signed in the morning.
So on that note, do we have a start date? I
We do
mean,
not have, no,
It'll be-
Mother Nature's gonna dictate
Well, I
that.
know,
bad boy.
but okay,
But-
They're hoping, according to the last call we had, they're hoping for May, but it's all gonna depend on the groundwater.
Okay.
And if the ground still frozen.
right.
But right now, prices seem to be dropping and they want to get what they can get.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Before it drops too much.
Yeah,
Sorry, I should.
Oh, but it's been doing this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Next item would be our claims.
Yes, yeah.
Pay the bills.
I have a motion from Councilman Howard,
Second.
second from Councilman D.
Chris, may I see them?
Oh,
They're the same. You already approved.
these are the ones you already approved.
We got
Yeah,
email?
we just have to
Okay,
approve them.
great.
Meeting is done.
Yeah, they're-
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the bills will get
I've
paid.
already asked my question.
Yep. We'll quick run through reports because I know there's a lot of stuff going on this evening that people want to get out to. Traffic stops, 1 traffic stop from the sheriff, 2 aggravated assaults. 49 additional calls in the city of Choteau from traffic accidents, traffic stops, officer requests and other calls. I was down there last night on an incident and I thank Deputy Jeffs for his help last night. And the other folks that were out there that worked with me to try and get a resolution for something. Monthly caseload from city court. You can see that there was just 1 case filed and it's within the city and it was another miscellaneous. Looks to be someone backed into someone.
Huh.
Jen's report, how she had 7 traffic complaints that she dealt with on the criminal side. Mike,
He did, he's moving snow.
yeah,
He was, all day I've seen him
That
moving
would be
snow.
his report. He's been moving snow.
they've been moving snow and it's just Mike and Colin and Kevin right now. We have extended an offer to somebody. They have done their paperwork, correct? We're expecting a new start date for another employee here shortly.
Do we have any update on the creek? Are we?
Right now, the creek seems to be holding its own. Mike goes out and checks it every night. I try and check it every night, and Lord knows if once in a while I get up in the middle of the night, can't sleep, I go drive down there.
I try and get through there at least twice a week.
And
Yeah.
it seems to be holding its own right now. Be curious to see what happens in the next 2 days when it gets this cold, and then come Saturday when it hits 40. I'm hoping that, and I believe Mike is as well, that the water flowing under there, it'll collapse on itself like it did the last time.
Mhm.
There's something downstream that seems to be holding it up. Mike's not sure. It's
How far?
outside our city limits. He has a rough idea, but he's gonna work with landowner to see what we can do.
Well, I think it's, so there's a big oxbow right south of the trap ground.
No, it's below that.
Is it below
It's
that?
below that.
Okay,
So. I thank Mike, Colin, Kevin, Levi, everybody right now is running pretty thin.
yeah,
I apologize for not getting my sidewalks done yesterday morning.
You're fine.
See, they had to shovel the sidewalk here and I let them down, so. Jody's reports are in here. Jody and I are working with, the bank on some stuff to take care of. As we look at CDs coming around and that.
did rates increase at all?
Yeah,
Little bit, we're trying to work on something a little different because right now stiff is, which you can invest in state, it's about 4%.
Mm-hmm.
Bank can't come real close. And, the nice part about STIP is that we get it, it's compounding and
Yeah.
we're getting a really large amount of interest every month.
Yeah,
So there's a different program that Jim Laird is working with us with to try to, maybe help that a little bit so we can keep some of the money local. The nice part about STIP, another thing about that, to keep some there is because I can move money in and out as
Right.
needed.
mhm.
So.
No.
so we as a city can take advantage of the PIP program, that's what I just educated on. Nice.
And I left a message for Jim today and I'll
I'm
follow.
gonna call you tomorrow. I had something else, he emailed me.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I left in my cell and I told him I'd be at City Hall after 4. Tom, nobody's building?
People have been inquiring about projects, but no new permit.
It's because all the contractors are working inside.
Yeah,
Councilman Capoli.
Just kudos to the snow removal team of people. It's a big job. I was over in Conrad last week and holy moly, my eyes were lightened. They actually, I don't know what they have, but they're a bigger town. And they had this huge mound of snow going right down the streets and the side streets were really bad. And I know Helena snow removal, I'm very familiar with that, just is non-existent. So I appreciate these
You mean the
guys.
skating rink?
Yeah, even if I do, wait a little bit for
It's.
the
Last year,
backhoe to get out of the street.
yeah, last year we did
Doing a good
not
job.
plow the streets one day.
Wow.
And we're paying for it now,
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
It's just December.
And they were
at
telling,
least fuel's down below
Yeah.
$5.
they were telling us, or I saw earlier, 2 inches an hour. To expect between now and midnight. of snow.
Wow. And has anybody noticed on a totally random note, the number of deer in
Yes,
town?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a,
They don't like all the snow either.
They don't
well,
even,
Is
deer
there
in
something
general,
we can do as a city council to like approach the fishing?
I will do that. I believe it's time we may have to look at an urban deer plan.
I mean, and they are not fearful of anything.
No,
And they don't get out of the road either.
no.
It's really,
it's dangerous.
seems
Councilman
really
Capoli,
bad.
would you phrase that in a question to me so I can do that, please?
I would love, what kind of question?
I want you to say, Mayor, would you reach out to Fish and Wildlife before?
Mayor, would you please?
Yes, I will gladly do that.
to aggravate fish, wildlife and parks.
I-
About
We
it,
can have a
but
bow season.
Trust me. When they see my name on.
I can
Price,
overcharge a
they
pellet
cringe.
gun really good. I mean,
Thank you.
But Jody, how many deer are out in that field next to you
But
every
you
night?
can fire a bow legally.
One night,
if you-
and it was during hunting
Yeah.
season, you can easily count 150 deer out there every night.
That's just.
well, the population is just up.
Not even to mention all the ones that are bedded down and all.
Oh, that-
Gosh, there between us and Skyland Lodge.
My dog would really love
Yeah.
to go out in that field.
But they have like a little highway.
Yep.
And that street in front of the school, they're always just standing there like.
No, I will gladly reach out to FWP tomorrow, in
I
Region
think
4 and see if
worrisome
they tell
when
me.
they're not fearful and they just won't leave your yard.
They're really bad.
And when they antagonize dogs, I mean,
Yeah.
actively.
I didn't know if
Some
anyone
bucks.
else had noticed that same trend, but
Oh, yeah.
The population's just up locally. I mean, I've noticed them even in the field. There's just a ton more than there were the last couple of years.
They're not afraid of the dogs.
No,
You know, my neighbors have two German shepherds, and I have a German shepherd lab, and they can see over the fence, and they come right up to the fence like that.
and probably with all the broken O west of town, they're not hunted. And they know they have like this huge safe area and they
Yeah.
just.
Nope, I will gladly do that. Councilman.
see if they might be able to incorporate with the food pantry.
Yeah, good idea. Councilman Howard.
I'll have a better report for you tomorrow.
All right, sounds
Yeah, it's,
good. I'll be curious, reach out to me.
snow is our friend right now, as
It
far
is.
as the frost.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we got our first water freeze up, service freeze up.
I've been dirt on letting water run, especially on my faucets that are on the outside walls. I've been opening up my cupboards underneath them and especially at night and going from there, so.
Mhm.
Councilman, was Jody,
Been 2 more days.
Yeah, that'll be 40 degrees.
run around in shorts and,
Grilling.
grilling.
Let's see, blood drive was today, the next one's March 16th. I recommend everyone who's able to donate, go and do that. There's a desperate need for all types, especially O positive.
Already signed up for my double unit.
Yep, perfect. Me too. Honestly, not a ton else in the other stuff that I'm involved in. It's the end of year, everything's going pretty well, all things told, Lions Club. had a
Stroll went
great year.
well.
Stroll went well, chamber sent out membership stuff. The chamber year was a good year for the chamber. And with the dinosaur center, so everything's good and we're all very just grateful for our community.
Dinosaur Christmas party. 2 thumbs up, so fun.
I'm really.
We
glad
didn't
to hear
get,
that.
I didn't get back in time for that.
30 years I've lived in Choteau. The first time I've been in that dinosaur museum.
We did the
Sorry to say
the
that.
cookie
and it
painting
was
and
amazing.
kids really seem to love that this year.
We were at Quint Black the night before in Helena and didn't get back till later that afternoon. so.
I've been chatting it up ever since.
Dinosaur Day this summer.
Councilman Burke?
I don't have anything except, I did go look up what Mel was talking about. Laws were created in 81 and 99 and updated in 2013, but municipalities are required
Yeah.
to have a public hearing and send out public notice.
Yeah.
For any, I believe it says in here, any rate increase.
Yeah, but it's basically just,
Yeah.
we could.
I mean, it's just, it's just nice to know that, yeah, we do have to do this when they're throwing money away.
Yeah.
And it's, I know that most people don't read them, but
A lot of work.
it is a lot of work.
Mhm.
And it's, the $2,000 is the mailing cost. That probably doesn't figure in man hours.
Oh, no, that's just.
That's the notice.
Just,
Yeah, that's just the supply cost. And so,
And back to that a little bit, this year, this time, and you guys probably saw it, we did something a little bit different, we did talking points. And, Mike did a good job, I did a little bit, but Mike did the heavy lifting on that, and I think that was helpful.
mhm.
I
Mhm.
think that it described what we're doing, where we're going. And I think that was helpful to people. I was just got off the phone with a lady who had some questions, but she read the letter. So she said, we were all very open and honest about what we were doing. She felt that the Canton article was good. I think from now on, hopefully, someday I'm gonna retire, but they We continue to do that. I think that's helpful.
Well, I think what it did is it created an atmosphere where people felt they could ask questions about it rather than get it thrown at them. Because when we did the sewer rating, I remember people were like, well, you just shoved this on us. And now people are like, okay, so why are we doing this? What's this about? As someone who was on the council, the previous one and is on the council for this one feels a lot more amicable. People are like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, not.
Or you can thank Cascade because that's who they did it
Yeah.
first.
Oh.
Jody with the,
Joining with an E.
Jody with the knee and Cascade.
That's,
So she's one of the 4 clerks of the apocalypse.
There you go.
From my desk, first of all, everybody, Merry Christmas.
mhm.
I'm very, very happy to call this place home year round, and Merry Christmas to everybody. To Jody, to Tom, to Mike and Shauna, my heart goes out with thanks to them for making my job as easy as it can be. Mike, especially these days, Mike is a blur to most of us. Because he is
I
picking them
only
up.
see him in passing.
Yeah, he's picking them up and
working.
putting them down as best that he possibly can right now. To the folks who responded, thank you. God bless you for taking the time and being involved. Whether it was in the post office, Rex's, Sam's Club, wherever you happen to grab me and comment on these things, it's greatly appreciated. Keep an eye on your friends, keep an eye on your neighbors, keep an eye on your fur babies, because it's gonna be cold for a few days. Like I said, we were out last night with an issue, I had a chat with the gentleman this morning. Things are much better, understood where we're at. I thanked him, he thanked us for being concerned. And know that we are here for you guys. 8 to 5 for the city office. You know me, I'm around 24/7. My cell phone's pretty easy to find. So lean on us. We'll be out plowing snow in the morning, I'm betting. And other than that, wish you guys a Merry Christmas. And if we have nothing else, do you have any comments tonight from the? Nope, we will adjourn until
The third.
I will see you guys.
The new year.
Just a second, on the 3rd, I think you guys, hopefully you guys read my
Yeah, we will have a work session.
email today, but I'm thinking that there probably won't be a lot on the agenda, but there will be, Jerry Gervance will be helping with the work session for the subdivision regulations that you guys got. Just so you know, we did sort of steal them from Fairfield.
Yes, they are.
So they are geared towards a small community like ours.
Okay.
So, but he will be zooming in with us.
We did not reinvent the wheel. So on my 57th birthday, we'll see you guys for city council.
I'll be 38.
All right?
What's that noise ordinance on the neighbor with the snow blower, the mega
Oh.
blower?
Anytime after 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Merry Christmas.
If he comes to your house, and does it.